So, Nico Hulkenberg to Sauber probably isn't something you had on your F1 silly season bingo card. To be clear, this isn't a stake F1 team kick Sauber decision. This is the new team owners Audi making their first move into the F1 drivers market and setting the tone for what they plan to do when they come into the sport. Signing a contract this early in the season means it's been going on for a long time, and it shows that Audi are really after what they want, not just the best of what everyone else is leaving for them. When we posted our news video about the Hulk's big move to Audi, the comments were a real mixed bag. Some people love the move. People who are fans of Hulkenberg or kind of know his history or just appreciate what he has to offer. But some people called him out, said he was washed up, said he was old, said he was a waste of an F1 seat. And that second group of people were wrong. So, with all that in mind, I'm George from F1 Reverse, this is Don't At Me, and I'm going to tell you why Hulkenberg to Sauber is the perfect move for Audi. First things first, before I dive in, a little bit of housekeeping. I love all the feedback we got on the last video, and I'm always going to take it all on board. To the people who said my background looked depressing, it's not green anymore. Hopefully less depressing. There's more stuff on the way. That's going to be an evolving space. To the people who got annoyed at the shutter noise, it's not going to be in this video. And to the people who said my face was too ugly to match up to my voice, I got a haircut. That's about the best I can do for you. So, German car manufacturer Audi is entering F1 in 2026. Not just a title sponsor. They're not coming in like BMW did with Sauber. They're coming in as a full-blown, this is our team, no Sauber, just Audi. Part of the team will be based in Neuburg in Germany, which is where the power unit will be made by Audi, and then the rest of it is going to stay at Hinwil in Switzerland, which is where everything else happens. That's where Sauber had been based for the 70s. All the infrastructure's there, all their equipment is there. It makes sense to leave everything there. So for those of you who know, Sauber have been around in F1 since the 90s, the Sauber racing team has been a thing since the 70s, though they weren't in F1. And through that time, a guy called Peter Sauber, who obviously the team is named after, has always been a part owner. But from 2026, that won't be the case. Audi are going to be 100% owners. So the Sauber team are currently headed by Andreas Seidl. While Audi don't 100% own the team yet, when Seidl came in 2023, that was Audi's decision to have him there, and he's going to lead the team into this new era. He's German, he's worked with the Porsche Le Mans team, he's known there, he's pretty well respected in Formula 1, even though he's not had a huge history as a team principal, and he was their first kind of big addition ready to get the team going. Behind the scenes, Audi is getting things ready. Their power unit is obviously most of the way done, I would imagine, by now, or certainly getting there anyway. And as soon as the 1st of January 2025 comes around, they'll be doing all the aero stuff behind the scenes. That's when the teams are allowed to start work on the new regulations of cars. The team working on those projects, many of those staff members are going to stay the same. There's not really much point in firing, the 800 people who work for Sauber and hiring 1,000 new people. There are going to be new staff coming in. Audi are going to bring new money. There's going to be new engineers. There's going to be new race staff. There's going to be loads of new stuff going on. But a lot of it's going to stay the same. Something that isn't going to stay the same is the drivers. Zhou Guanyu and Valtteri Bottas are both out of contract at the end of 2024. Now, both of them are pretty reasonable drivers. Bottas has plenty of experience, and even if he isn't at Sauber in 2025, he probably deserves a seat somewhere on the grid. Now, I'm not here to knock either of those drivers. I think they're both perfectly acceptable Formula 1 drivers, but Audi's been clear that they want to build their own team, and Bottas and Zhou aren't their choices of driver. Now, Audi's stated aim is to be a competitive team. They've put that in everything they put out. They want to come in and be competitive, and competitive means winning races and championships, I would imagine, because that's what you compete in Formula 1 to do. Now, with the new regs in 2026, there's going to be a big reshuffle of the grid. I'm not talking about Haas and Williams being the front runners and all of a sudden Red Bull and Ferrari being backmarkers. It's not going to be quite that big, but you're kind of looking at the top half of the grid might switch around a bit. You might see McLaren make something amazing and dominate, or you might see Red Bull do badly for whatever reason. Maybe because Adrian Newey isn't going to be there to help them design the car, but that's going to move around and the same will happen at the back. That means Sauber can come in and potentially be the front of the back markers, or maybe somewhere in the midfield, or potentially they pick up a podium or two every now and then. To do that though, they need a certain caliber of driver. And by making a move early in the drivers' market, they're saying, we're going to get who we want, and we're not here to take the top team's cast-offs. Step in Nico Hulkenberg. If you're a newer fan to the sport, the Hulk's probably a bit of a mystery. He's 36. He had a 2-year sabbatical. He's been at Haas as a backmarker team for the last couple of years. But he's now been signed by a team who could be the next Red Bull. They could come in and in 3 or 4 years' time kind of win championships. If you started watching only a few years ago, you probably thought, who the hell is this 34-year-old who's just come onto the grid? But he is a good F1 driver. You will have seen him in Q3 plenty of times last season. This season he's made Q3 twice and then got 3 points finishes for Haas, which is obviously excellent. But at the same time, he might be doing okay at Haas and being consistent, but he's not exactly an exciting driver to sign. He has the awful record of having the most F1 starts without securing a podium finish. That's a record that no F1 driver would ever want, and I'm not sure anyone else will ever be in the sport long enough without getting a podium to actually break his record. As a younger driver, he won in F2 and F3, or the equivalent back then anyway, which is something that a lot of drivers who make it to the grid can't actually say. He's also won at Le Mans, which is impressive. There's no getting around that. Winning Le Mans is impressive. It might not equate to being an excellent Formula 1 driver, but it's still something impressive. In his younger years as well, he was seen as a big up-and-coming driver. He was linked with Ferrari, loads as well. Like, Hulkenberg was a serious talent back when he started his career, and he still is a serious talent, but he just never quite got that move to a top team where he could show that off. What I'm trying to say is that Hulkenberg has the talent to make a good car do good things, and importantly, he'll do it consistently as well. And even more importantly, he can develop a good car. Audi said he'll be closely involved in the development of Audi's first F1 car for 2026. So in 2023, Aston Martin turned up to the grid with that amazing car, and they've gone from 7th fastest on the grid to 2nd fastest, and Fernando Alonso is on the podium for 6 of the first 8 races. But behind that was Nico Hulkenberg as a development driver in the factory and in the sim, helping make that car happen. He was a big part of that success for Alonso in 2023. And he can do the same for Audi as well. Now, it could be easy to say, alright, so Nico Hulkenberg, he's got some skills, he can help develop, but there's loads of drivers in the sport who can do that. They already have Valtteri Bottas at the team, who kind of offers the same style of thing based on what I've already said. So why pick this old German who's never had a podium finish for your newly created We Want to Be competitive team? Well, he does what Audi wants. He's going to be able to provide the team with incredible feedback. He can communicate what he feels in the car, and he can give the factory like actionable feedback that they can actually improve their new car with. Now, Audi could have promoted some hotshot rookie and made like a really exciting signing or something like that. But that only works if the team already has a fast car, or if they're a backmarker team that kind of wants to take a gamble and maybe get a driver who can perform really well for a season or two before getting picked up by a better team. Audi is building, and they need a set of reliable hands. What they don't want is to put an exciting rookie into their seat who's going to bin it every 5 races, complain the car isn't very good, and actually you just don't really know if it's because they're just a bit rubbish or if the car actually isn't good. You just can't use a rookie as a good sounding board for when you're a new team creating a new car with new staff. It just doesn't work that well. And also, Nico Hulkenberg, as a German driver, is a marketable asset for a German company. I know you might not be excited by him, but they can put him on billboards in Germany and people can go, oh, this is Nico Hulkenberg, he's German, yay, he's our F1 driver. Which seems really silly, but that's definitely a thing that does happen. So yeah, Nico Hulkenberg really is the perfect choice for Audi, and they might not be able to offer him a race-winning car straight away, but he can offer them everything they need to be able to make a race-winning car, and that's the important thing. Of course, the follow-up to Hulkenberg being confirmed for their seat is who gets the other seat? That is a really tough question to answer, and one that probably even Audi can't answer right now, because if they knew, they would have just signed them and that would be it already, and we'd already know. What I do know is that the people in the comments on the video that we released breaking the news that Hulkenberg was signing, saying that Mick Schumacher should get the second seat, are wrong. The guy who commented saying that Nick de Vries should get the second seat is definitely wrong. And the people who think Sebastian Vettel might come out of retirement to join Audi, you're on the right page, but again, you're wrong, I'm afraid. Carlos Sainz is the favourite, and until he signs somewhere else, Carlos Sainz will remain the favourite. Everyone knows that Audi want him. He's the perfect fit for what Audi does. He does everything that Hulkenberg does as well, but he's probably a naturally better driver, you would have to say. Sainz offers that consistency. He isn't going to bin it constantly like Charles Leclerc does. He's a race winner, and I can't believe he's a free agent still, but he is, and he has to be Audi's target. There is obviously a chance that he still signs with Red Bull if Red Bull decide that Checo isn't what they want going forward, and in that case, I think Audi will sign Checo. If Red Bull don't sign Sainz, Checo will stay at Red Bull, Sainz will come to Audi. I think that's its own little enclosed silly season of dominoes, which isn't going to get altered by anything else. But if for whatever reason that doesn't happen, then I'm pretty sure Audi will go for Alex Albon for 2025 when his contract with Williams is up. But there's a lot of things that have got to happen for that to happen. I still think Carlos will be the one at Audi next season. Alright, that's my thoughts on why you all need to stop bad-mouthing Nico Hulkenberg and give some respect to a driver who is a perfect fit for the Audi F1 team. And whatever you do, don't at me, because Nick de Vries? Really?